Well, when it comes to the ongoing migrant crisis, incoming winter weather isn't the only hurdle U.S. officials are facing. An influx of Chinese immigrants and a terrifying incident at the northern border have authorities on edge. In the past year, Customs and Border Patrol has released a report that more than 24,000 encounters with Chinese nationals at the southern border. There were just 2,000 in 2022 and less than 500 in 2021. Joining me now for more on this is former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf. Thank you for being here, Chad.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Chad, border agents have had 12 times the number of encounters with Chinese immigrants this year compared to 2022. What security concerns does this raise, given America's strained relationship with China right now?
Well, I think there's a very real security concern. It's not only the number of Chinese nationals coming over, but obviously those are the ones that Border Patrol is apprehending. So we have a pretty good number. And then there's probably several thousands that are actually in that got-away number that we talk about. Those are individuals that we don't apprehend, that we don't come into contact with. And so it's not only just Chinese nationals, but it's also probably nationalities from 100 other countries that we are seeing along that southern border. So the security concerns are pretty great. They're not just localized to Chinese nationals, but we see folks from Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Iran, and other countries of concern crossing that border every single day.
Well, are authorities able to accurately screen the incoming migrants with the massive numbers flooding into the U.S.?
Well, I think the short answer is no. No, because they don't have the resources, and the capacity is beyond strained, and it's broken. And so when you're processing hundreds and upwards to thousands of migrants every single day, then you can't do those law enforcement background checks, interviews that you would normally do that would take some time. And so you don't have a good sense of who they are. Instead, what you're incentivized to do is simply process them and then release them into American communities, which is what has been occurring over the last 35 months. And so with that, you lose a lot of law enforcement, what we call domain awareness and intelligence from interviewing those migrants. And so I would say that we know less about who's crossing that border at any other time in our recent history.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about that terrifying car explosion at the U.S.-Canadian border ahead of the holiday weekend. It set off concerns about terrorism and border security. Are authorities doing enough when it comes to our country's northern border?
Well, look, I think they continue to do all that they can with the resources. Look, the northern border is very different than the southern border. It's much larger and it's less populated. But I think what it does show you is that when we give a lot of attention to the southern border, we're not actually talking about and thinking about the security concerns along that northern border. And I'll just give you in one sector, in the Swanson sector, which is made up of New York, New Hampshire, and Vermont, they've apprehended more individuals in the last 11 months than they did in the previous 10 years combined. And so that gives you a sense that the flow, the illegal flow that's coming into the country is starting to shift, and we're starting to see more and more along that northern border. It's not that because they got more agents to apprehend more folks, they actually have less because they're sending them to the southern border. You're just starting to see more and more numbers along that northern border. And I think that's what DHS law enforcement needs to understand. Why is it happening? Who's coming across? And how do we start to deter some of that behavior?
Well, what exactly needs to change to keep the northern border safe and secure?
Well, you're certainly going to need more Border Patrol officers. Technology is certainly going to help. The Canadian officials are going to need to step up their patrols and what they do on their side of the border. It always helps to have a willing partner, and they are for the most part. But again, you just have a very long and very, I would say, less populated border, very rural border in many, many locations outside of ports of entry, like we saw there in New York. And so with that comes a number of challenges. And so you need technology, you need personnel, and you need to hold people accountable. Those that do cross, you need to apprehend them and then prosecute them.
Chad Wolf, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.